Alrighty, hello. So, if you found this video, or found the posting more likely of this video on the forums, I'm going to be playing PyBlock. My mod I made of basically taking Pymods and turning them into C-block. I'll post a links in the description to all the mods I have. It's like literally just Pymods and then some quality of life stuff, and that's all. But let's go ahead and get into things. This thing really has two intentions. One, it's a bit of a kind of a let's play, just to show it off a little bit, plus do a little bit of actual playing so I can kind of see how the balance feels, see what needs adjusted, see how I like things, make sure it plays out. Because while I do intend to, there are some changes I plan on making when 0.17 comes out, whenever the hell that's going to be. There are some other things I haven't totally decided where I want to go with, but I want to see how things play out now before I start making changes. So let's go ahead and just leave everything default. I honestly don't think any of these settings make any difference whatsoever. Maybe map height and width, probably, but whatever. Let's go ahead and get into things. Generation's kind of slow. Let's turn that off. Alrighty, so you start out. Granted, I haven't actually played C-block. I've only seen other people play it on YouTube. But you start out on a little bit of land. You've got nothing in your toolbar. I have faster start on, so it gives me a bit of armor and some robots, mostly because I play kind of slowly and just like having the extra robots to kind of speed some things up. But so other than that, you start out with some landfill, wood, stone. And with those materials, you don't start with any way to get any ores. There's nowhere to mine. Obviously, if you played C-block, they should understand that, but like I said, I'm going to kind of explain some things in case somebody comes across this who doesn't understand what's going on. But as you can see over here, this piece contains some equipment to get started. And among that, all of these wreck pieces contain bits of scrap we can use to get us the metal we need to start. So let's go ahead and make a nice little path out to these pieces and mine them. That gives us a little bit, and we'll go ahead and run up here to the top. I'm not too worried. While I do have limited landfill until I get the equipment needed to make more, I should have plenty that even that little bit I've used right in this area shouldn't be so much as that I can't fill in the space and use it. Huh. Well, that's just a tiny bit cheaty. Interesting. I didn't realize that was a thing. Oh well. But let's go ahead and... Alright, so get back up here to the middle. Go ahead and expand our landfill. That's probably rather loud on the microphone since it's sitting right next to it. But fill us in some space we can use. Now, for PyBlock starting out, you do need to save a little bit of landfill. At minimum 25 bits of landfill to make one of the machines you need. But it's like I said, here's using most of the landfill, a decent sized square. It should be enough room to get started. And now we have scrap copper and scrap iron. We can take these scrap bits here, toss them in a stone furnace, put in a couple pieces of wood. Scrap copper, you will need it sooner rather than later, but for now, start just smelting iron as fast as we can, because we need just a lot of iron. Now, one of the things has been mentioned, I'm going to be making this change, is the scrap right now it has a stack size of 100, which is honestly kind of way too damn small. I'm going to probably be upping it to either 500 or 1,000. I haven't decided which. Probably 500 since it fits in with most of what the Pymods do. Is it Pi or Psi? I don't know. Figure that out later. But, wait for this to get smelted. Alright. Go ahead and use a little bit of leftover fuel. Now, unlike normal Pymods with raw ores installed, you don't just get straight iron, or iron plate. You actually get wrought iron plate. There's a reason for that, and given that raw ores takes so much iron ore to make an iron plate that it was kind of slowing down the beginning game, since you can't mine iron anywhere, I created this extra ore to kind of level things out a little bit. But plan is, so what you do is, now we have this wrought iron, we can make a crude, destructive distillation column, which will allow us to take the wood we have and start turning it into coal for better fuel. Like, the wood right now has 4 megajoules per piece. It's not a whole hell of a lot. So let's go here. This thing's also a burner unit. A lot of these early game buildings are all burners, which means they're going to need fuel. But see, we take a piece of wood, toss the rest of it in there. Actually, let's do like half. There we go. Get us some coal, which scrap back down. Now we can use the coal to start fueling things like the furnace and add more iron. Now the other thing, you also get your iron oxide from it, and then you also have the coal gas and the tar. Now the coal gas has basically no use, so we can go ahead and put a gas vent up here to get rid of that. And the tar, we want to take that and run it through where is it? Here it is. Burner quenching tower. That's where we need the other 25 landfill for. So for this, you can see we need 7 iron plates, but then we also need a bunch of copper for this one. So we got plenty of iron now. Let's go ahead and get the copper. And one adjustment I did make with the copper is, unlike the iron where it's 10 to 1, copper is only 5 to 1. So even though you get less copper, it should last you a bit longer. You're going to need a lot of iron in the early game, especially before you start getting to the point where you start going into science. But how much? I think I needed 15 copper. Yes, I did. So yeah, we should have plenty now. Crap. That's the one thing I haven't figured out how to get straighten out, is that's not 7 wrought iron, that's 7 regular iron plates, which you can change wrought iron back and forth from regular iron and wrought iron. So it ends up causing some issues with that. Looks like, I believe we need 25 plates, but we also need 10 wrought iron pipe. Wrought iron pipe is 1 to 1, so we need 35. So let's toss some more iron in there. Let's go ahead and, while we're waiting, craft those pipes. We need 10. So get those go ahead and going. And then add more iron. Like I said, I'm going to make that stack size bigger because it's a pain in the ass. Add another piece of fuel so we can finish off the stack. Take that out of there. Double wood. Yeah, see, now we can't make any more fuel right now because we need to get that tar out of there because it's filled up the machine. But while I could use one of these sinkholes or gas vent to do it, given that we pretty much need the tar as our only source of ore, I'm not in a hurry to ditch it since it doesn't do me any good to dump the tar that I need anyway. So let's go ahead. Alright, that's crafted. Let's see. That's one thing I do need to fix is this recipe and this recipe don't have icons properly. But here's the iron copper recipe. Let's turn that around. Oh, that's the other thing we need, is we need a water source for this one. So I think, go ahead, move it down one, bring it over to here. Iron copper, spin that around. Leave some space. Saline water, you won't need it for a while, so you can go ahead and dump that. Now I've also got Picker installed, which is what's letting me move all these buildings around. Can go ahead and place this other sinkhole for the tailings. They'll be needed eventually, but not right away. And then we can also go ahead and get rid of the flue gas. Now, I am going to go ahead and leave a little bit of space in here. I'm going to use pipes because as soon as we get more material, I'm going to make another quenching tower to make more room. But I need more iron and copper again. Put that in there. I'm going to go ahead and make another stone furnace. Got a little bit of stone. You do need a little bit of stone for a few things, but not so much of it that the stack you have shouldn't be enough to let you make at least a couple of furnaces. Let's go ahead and add copper. Let it run. Let's go ahead and get us some of that iron. I think, yeah. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Picker will let me move that too. Put that up there. Yeah, see, now it went ahead and pulled the tar into the quenching tower. Let's pick up the gas vent. Put it up there. Need some more iron. Put the other copper in there. That's almost out of fuel. Add another coal. I believe I need... Yeah, I need 5 wood for the crude nursery to make more wood. So, oh yeah, pipes. I need pipes and an offshore pump. See, 15 pipes should be plenty. And then let's go ahead. Put like 2 pieces in there, 2 more in there. Collect that wood. I'll hold on to the rest of that wood until we get something to do with it. Let's see, pipe there. Damn it. Can't reach that far. Pipe here, pipe there. Alright, they're all taken care of. Offshore pump. Now, one thing you will notice with the wrought iron pipes is there is no underground version. It's intended to be like the major limitation of the wrought iron pipe is it's early. Can't really go underground with it. You kind of just gotta like work around that problem. It's meant to be one of like the early game difficulties. Alright, let's see. We got ourselves a little bit of copper. Get ourselves some iron. Now, we can go ahead and... Let's go ahead and get myself some more iron. I'm going to go ahead and make a box and a burner inserter so I can have it insert the materials and take it out. That's... What did I build? 1, 2, 3... Get 4. The other thing we need sooner rather than later is the burner wood processing unit so I can stop handcrafting these damned wood, like wood planks or whatever the hell they're called. They take forever. that there. Okay, now all my scrap iron. Most of my scrap iron. And we're out of fuel again. Or the burn serves out of fuel. Give it 2 pieces. Give it 2 pieces. Give it 2 pieces. Give it 2 pieces. Box. There's a box. What? Type. I'm very confused. I don't know. Alrighty then. But here's another box. Let's go ahead and put our scrap copper in there. What little bit of it we got left. And granted, probably if you were a little bit more efficient, you could probably get through this part a little bit faster. I'm kind of slow. I tend to turtle my way through most of this shit. But there's a bit of iron. Here's a bit of copper. So, big thing at this point is we need the crude nursery and the wood processing unit to start up the continuous cycle of metal fuel. That thing. You'll need. Let's see, that's 15, 25, and then that's 35 iron plus the burner miners, which that's another 12. I just lost count. Damn it. You need a lot of iron, basically. And honestly, as slow as it goes, it's honestly faster just to hand fill this thing. One other thing I'm going to go ahead and do is make a couple of other furnaces. You're out of fuel again. A couple more pieces. Place these two down here. And I'm going to go ahead put iron ore in this one and copper ore in this one. Now copper still takes, I think, 8. Takes 8 ore. Iron takes 2. Because I've changed iron. Instead of getting it for 2 iron ore in a normal stone furnace, you can smelt it into wrought iron plates. You can't actually get regular iron plates, which I'm using. What is it really used for? Until, let's see, what's the earliest you can open it up? You can either use iron oxide, which a couple of those you get from making fuel, or you can make it from 5 wrought iron plates, or you gotta unlock iron ore processing 1. You can use 8 iron plates to make 1 iron plate. That's the earliest you can get it. I'm honestly not sure what happens if you put it into a furnace. I've got to check. I think the game automatically continues making wrought iron plates. I might have to do something about that. See, there we go. Now we're getting a little bit more iron, a little bit faster. Let's see. How are we doing? We still need a lot more. Let's go ahead, add scrap iron to this one. Go ahead and add scrap iron. Toss that one in there. Let's see. I'm going to take half that back. Let's go ahead and using... Shit. That didn't work the way I wanted it to. Go ahead and set up that furnace. As I said, you need a lot of iron early game. A lot. Damn burner inserters. Quit using all the fuel. Nope. Not what I meant to do. Come here, you. Scrap iron. Another thing. Let's see. We should have a decent amount of iron now. Let's go ahead and make the wood processor because we need that. And then, yeah, we still need a decent amount of iron because we got to make both a soil extractor before we can make a crude nursery. And that. Have this. I can put that away. Maybe some iron plate. Burner insert, you're taking forever. We're almost out. We're almost out. So one problem I need to figure out. I intend to, with the scrap, I think I'm going to end up adding more wrecks kind of randomly appearing out in the void, like just out here somewhere to find. But as of right now, you still end up with a few odd pieces here and there where you just can't make anything out of them. Like this scrap copper, there's just a single leftover piece. It's just kind of useless at this point. Go ahead and grab the rest of this. And already got what, 143, so 14 iron plates left. Here, there. Alright, we end up with 3 scrap iron. Just toss those both in there, because can't really do anything else with them. Don't feel like filling up my pockets with it. Stick this in here to hold on to it for now. We should, keyword should, Ten says you should at minimum have enough iron, just enough iron to be able to get to the point where you can get self-sustaining. So there's a crude nursery. As soon as we craft everything, yeah, we've got 43 iron plates left. So as long as you're very careful and don't go ridiculous with it, you can pretty well get yourself started without ending up in a deadlock. Let's see. And this is why I've got faster start on, so I can move shit like this with the robots, because it's in my way and I need to move it all. And it's a pain in the ass to sit here and pick everything up and then replace it all. Could use nanites or something, but I've found with these mods, like, nanites are just way too damn expensive. Actually, well, I do eventually. I didn't actually need to move them right now, but whatevs. Let's see. That should have... No, I do have to put fuel in this. No, that's, no, the sinkholes and things, given the fact that until 0.17 drops, they have to have some kind of energy source, either electric or chemical. I had to kind of cheat my way around it and give it an effectively infinite source. I was thinking I did the same thing with the crude nursery. I hadn't. I just set it to very, very, very low, so even a single piece of something will last a good long time. Let's go ahead and add a few pieces of fuel here. There's some extra fuel for us. Some here. Few pieces here. Actually, you know what? Go ahead. Give me this. Alright, that way everybody's got a little bit of even amount. As close as even as we can get. Just waiting on these freaking logs. Big thing is to, at this point, kind of just playing a waiting game. Everything's started, so like it's technically a complete circle and you can keep going. The only thing at this point is you need to start getting more iron made so you can get another crude nursery, so you can start making wood faster, put it through this thing, put it through this thing to get more iron, to make another one of these, and then keep going around in a loop to kind of speed yourself up and get things going. But 3 logs turn into 15 wood, which is like 1.5 times enough wood to actually get this thing running. Gives you 10 coal. The reason you want to get to coal as soon as possible is coal is 8 megajoules per piece, which is double what the wood is. And the recipe that runs through the crude distillation column is 10 wood to 10 coal. So you're literally not losing anything out. There's more iron and copper. Iron goes there. Put copper over here. Logs. Transfer that. I think this first episode was really intended to be more of an explanation and kind of getting started guide. So I think at this point, if you follow along, as I said, you know, get the scrap, melt scrap down, get the iron, get the copper, use the iron and copper, build yourself all these pieces here, put them together. It gives you the cycle you need to keep going. You start with logs basically out of thin air, turn the logs into wood, turn the wood into coal, turn the coal into fuel you use for everything else. And then the tar you need, use the tar to get your iron and copper. You put the iron and copper into your smelters, turn everything, that wrought iron and copper, keep expanding. At this point, it's literally just a matter of expanding and keep getting to the cycle until you can get more material coming in faster so you can keep growing. The next step you go from here is to start working your way, actually getting science going. So the big thing with science is you need to get your falgae substrate, which means getting your shrooms going, which means there's the plantation, which means you need to start getting tin and soil up and running. And you also need to, this is one of the, like, science is where you go from these early game stuff into the next level stuff where you need actual iron instead of wrought iron, the regular iron, which is harder to get a hold of. And the other big thing, you need wood, obviously, which is another reason to getting more nurseries going. But the next big thing is glass. Glass is made with the quartz, which is in PyBlock comes from sand. So you gotta get the burner washer set up. Use a burner washer, sort soil into sand and tailings. Then use one of these automated screeners, which takes steel, which is expensive, to sort the sand into quartz. Then you also have, see, here in this recipe, this is a good place to dump most of your tailings. Early game is use tar and tailings, unlike the iron and copper, which is tar and water. That gives you aluminum and tin for getting things started. Then you also have, you don't need it right away, but pretty soon you get to the point where this one will allow you to make the lead and the chromium you need. Lead you primarily need for using the Pymods powerhouse and a few other things. The chromium, I believe, comes into science. Then there's also nickel, which comes in a little bit later. But, and then you also need, going back to science, you need the coke, which this destructive distillation column can make. You take the coal you have, you put it back in here, and then it'll run through again a second time, and it'll give you coke. Now, coke, you don't, I have to rerun the numbers, but I believe last time I checked, you don't want to turn all your coal into coke unless you plan on needing the actual coke, because I believe it's 10 to 6. Actually, I've got the coal. We'll go ahead and run it right now. You don't get as much fuel value going from coal to coke as you do going from wood to coal. See, I put in 10 coal at 8 megajoules, so that's like 80 megajoules of fuel. But I'm only getting back 60 of it. So it does give you more tar and more coal gas, but you're losing fuel value out of it. So it's definitely an option, not necessarily one you want to go for unless you actually have a need for it, or you have too much coke sitting on, or coal sitting on hand, which can happen. Depending on what you got going on, you could easily end up at a point where you end up with more coal than you need, and you can turn it into coke. It kind of wastes some full fuel value when it would let you burn it off. But I'm also rambling a lot at this point, so this is the first episode. Go ahead and either on the PyBlock forum page or the mod page or in the comments section of any of the videos, if you have questions, issues, anything, go ahead and post. I tend to have a schedule that basically doesn't exist, so more often than not, I'm around and will answer your questions pretty damn quickly, usually at the latest within a day. But, so, hope y'all are interested, and come back and check it out some more. I'm planning on going to keep playing, and my main goal for this is to at least get to a rocket launch. Beyond that, I don't have anything specific in mind. Like I said, it's mostly a balance kind of test and checking things out. So, see y'all later.